Terraria just did it again, this time with its very last final and last update, TM. 1.4.5 is just about to roll out on the 27th of January and it's absolutely massive, seriously. It's so massive we could easily call it 1.5 at this point, as there have been smaller major updates. So if you think 1.4.5 is just a minor update or some hotfixes, you couldn't be more wrong. It's a major update with new content for years. The new update adds a plethora of changes, new items, mechanics and game modes known as seeds. If we start by taking a look at the new seed menu and its related option, we can witness the first major change, which is, in my humble opinion, the biggest change that will affect the long-term replayability of Terraria big time. Look, for now it was required to enter the number or words for secret seeds manually. Because of this, many people missed out on the hidden game modes like the Don't Starve or Get Fixed Boy seed, which can change the way how we play the game. With 1.4.5, this barrier will be removed. From here on, we have a seed menu where we can comfortably select the seed we want to play on. But not just that, 1.4.5 lets us combine different seeds for even more replayability and most likely hilarious seed combinations. To add the cherry on top of the cake, it will also add new seed types, one of them being the sandbox favorite Skyblock, but also the option to play as a vampire or fill the oceans with shimmer instead. My personal favorite to mix will be most likely Don't Starve and Skyblock on Master Mode mixed together for a harsh survival challenge, and I can't wait to get this started. And I'm kinda curious what seed combinations you guys come up with. Let me know in the comments and I might try your idea. But once we're all excited, starting our journey on either secret seeds or normal worlds, what's exactly new? Let's begin with a look at critters and mobs. One of the most iconic mob in Terraria will get interesting new changes: slimes. Relogic added new slimes such as a cloud slime that can jump much higher than their normal counterpart. Slimes are also able to carry new items inside of them, with one of them being dart traps, which sounds like a pretty evil thing to do because those traps are fully functional. With a bit of bad luck, I can see the dart slime being the reason for a lot more tombstones on my world. But to make our world more lively, Relogic will also add a pufferfish and let the iconic orca from consoles and handhelds return to our oceans. And talking about luck, if you have a bad luck stat, critters like birds will now eventually poop on your face just like squirrels may attack you. I guess they finally get their revenge on us and luck becomes a bit more relevant. However, sometimes it's not just about bad luck, but about quality of life. And 1.4.5 brings a lot new changes on the table to make our life much more comfortable. We now also have a minion counter below our health bar to keep track of our summons. Additionally, Relogic will give the Goblin Tinkerer a better reputation. When reforging the best weapon modifiers like Legendary, they cannot be accidentally skipped any longer. This is accompanied by a rainbow coloring and particles. Personally, I love that because I reforged Brain AFK with slippery fingers and always accidentally skipped the best modifier just to waste another 10 platinum on the goblin. Talking less about gold and more about damage. In multiplayer, after a boss is defeated, there will be a status message now how much damage each player did. No more slacking, guys. From now on, everyone can see how we perform. Despite Terraria now literally shitting on us, Relogic still has some love to share for builder and engineer. First, conveyor belts can now carry items vertically. Back then it needed time-consuming hoik mechanics to vertically move items, however this can now be done with a single block. Although for all the hoik lover, hoiks still have a use for items as they are faster and have some other advantages, don't worry. The second addition is overlooked, however I've spotted an interesting change. Look, cannons and snowball launcher will now deal damage to enemies when connected to wires and activated by a button or other mechanics, similar to traps and as it seems with a good amount of damage. Boys and girls, it's tower defense time. A feature that was announced for Terraria Otherworld finally made it into vanilla. Tower that can shoot at enemies. We already had traps, but this will elevate it to the next level. I can already sense all kind of new farms, and if we already talk about farms, let's talk about one of the most anticipated, suggested and wished items, a hopper. Some may know them from Minecraft or other games. Hopper will automatically distribute items to the chest they are connected to. This greatly helps to make hyper-efficient AFK farms without crumbling your inventory all the time. And to be honest, I really love that addition. But what's about the core and the soul of this update? The crossover with Dead Cells, which is a fast, action-paced platformer just like Terraria can be at times. The crossover will bring numerous new items known from Dead Cells to Terraria. New weapons, trinkets, summons and even a buff station, a health fountain as it seems, that most likely will work like the sharpening stone or bewitching table, but for life buff instead. Additionally, in a good old Terraria fashion, there are almost hundreds of new items confirmed to be added along with the crossover content. The Summoner seems to get a lot of needed love with new reforges, a dozen new rips for all kind of progression stages and a handful of new summons throughout the game. And with a great amount of new blocks and furniture, it will also take care about those who love to decorate. Some of my personal favorites are the transformation mounts, or items, as those items will not let you mount onto something but instead transform our character into animals and fantasy beings. A bat for flight or a mouse transformation to pause small passages are just two of those being confirmed. Depending on the progression stage those items are accessible, I can see how they can become very useful in the early game, and if I think about it, it's a pretty interesting addition to build mods upon. Talking about modding, there might be one question on our mind. Will we be able to use the Tmod-Loader and mods with 1.4.5? Yes, but it will take some time for every mod to update and a couple of hotfixes here and there. Overall, it's recommended to enjoy vanilla for the new 1.4.5 content first until mods are updated, fixed and ready to play. And you know the drill, never play on patch day or don't complain. Although, overall Terraria updates are very clean and pretty safe to play right from release. Like every Terraria update, the amount of items and additions is simply too much to put it into a single video without cracking the 10-hour mark, but there's some mentionable and selected items I don't want to leave out. The X-Ring lets us farm wood in the most comfortable way up to date, and if this isn't enough already, a new fairy pet will farm trees on its own while looking damn cute swinging that axe. If you feel less like chopping and more like digging, another powered pet will make it into Terraria, being able to dig on its own on command. Another great addition to have fun with is the AC car, similar to the drone that was recently added. It can drive on blocks just as it does on walls. It looks like a great motivation to build tracks and challenge your friends in multiplayer. There's so much more changes and additions packed in 1.4.5, not just items but also visuals and audio changes like new soundtracks, updated textures, shaders and even thunder strikes to hit the players or trees. I'm not lying when I say that at this point it could be named 1.5 just as good. It will be a blast and fresh new experience for sure. Especially the seed menu and option to mix seeds is a brilliant move by Relogic in addition to utilize all the seeds they came up with over the years. Every very last and final TM update was a blast so far, and I'm pretty sure this won't be different with 1.4.5. I really hope you all enjoy the update, leave a like and show your support with a subscribe. This was Water's Box and I see you next time.